Awesome. So my name is Mikey McCarrans. I work in the Office of Recruiting and Outreach in the college. So I don't work specifically with construction management, but I do work a little bit with each of our 11 majors in the college. This presentation is going to be ran by Jessica Miller. Jessica is the operations coordinator for construction management. So she has an awesome presentation ready for you guys. We have a few faculty and staff members, and we have 2 students here, construction management students, who will be talking about their experiences as well, and they can help answer any questions you guys may have about being a construction management student. So there is a chat function in the Zoom meeting, so if you have any questions throughout the whole presentation, feel free to write them in the chat. We will allot some time at the end for a Q&A, just some time for Q&A, but if you do ask a question that's relevant to whatever our speaker is talking about, we can stop and answer your question if you just go ahead and put it in the chat. So feel free to use that. If you want to keep yourselves on mute and turn your video off during the presentation, that would be great. But yeah, like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to use the chat. And Jessica, I will turn it over to you.
Like Mikey said, my name is Jessica Miller. I'm the operation coordinator here at the construction management department. I also have some of our instructors on here as well, Ms. Human. I have 2 of my colleagues, Becky and Shelby, as well as 2 students that you'll be hearing about later in this presentation as well. So thank you to Elizabeth and Caroline. We'll be hearing from them shortly. So what I'm going to start off to do, we're going to watch a short video. So just bear with me because I'm going to have to do some technical stuff. 1 second. You should be able to hear it. We did work on it. So let's see, when we start it. It's going to be silent for about 15 seconds and then you'll hear it. So let's go ahead and play it.
Saturday afternoon in LSU Tiger Stadium, one of the premier settings in all of college football. Players, fans, and what do you have? A nationally recognized stadium built by hardworking men and women under the supervision of construction managers. Construction is the largest and most diversified industry in the world. The key professionals in this vast enterprise are construction managers, or CMs, who are the business side of this industry. They are the leaders who possess the skills, experience, and education to manage all areas of construction in both the private and public sector. Recognizing the rising complexity of new construction projects and the increased speed of technology, Bert S. Department of Construction Management is dedicated to providing the construction industry with a graduate ready to accept the challenges of today's global market. LSU Construction Management is one of the premier CM programs in the U.S., according to several studies.
Construction management is not exactly what you would think of. You're not the one in the field banging the hammer into the wood. It's completely different than what the stereotype is. Construction management is actually more of the business side of things, organizing and task management and people management, resource management, and you're really making all the pieces of the puzzle fit together.
It allows you to have a nice balance of field and office, and still allow you that enjoyment of seeing something being complete that you were a part of. Construction management department at LSU is very, very good about getting you into the industry, allowing you opportunities to get internships during the summer and during the school year, which to me is the most important part. And it's really up to you to take that initiative, but they have it all set up for you and it's available for you.
Central to all CM students is the Construction Student Association, which is a very active organization housed within the CM department. Members function as ambassadors to the CM program of the college and the university.
Construction Student Association, or CSA, is really key if you want to become a construction manager. It takes you just from that professional class setting, and it allows you to interact with students and not only just that, but also professional industry members. And you really do become a family through this organization.
The Construction Students Association is really, their main goal is to get the students with the industry professionals and really often meet in I guess, a more social environment, more relaxed. We always have a meeting to be about once a month, and it'll have a speaker come in and talk who would just give their advice on what's going on in the industry today or where it's headed.
The CSA also works closely with the Construction Industry Advisory Council. This council was created by industry to support the LSU CM department and its students through a variety of activities.
I got into the CIAC, the Construction Industry Advisory Council, through LSU and dealing with their construction management program. The older I get, which I'm still a young guy, but for 15 years, each year that goes by, I start realizing the importance of recruiting and training and making sure that the curriculum at LSU for construction management is top notch. And being that I've gone through the program and I know what we do here for our company and I know what our industry needs, we give a lot of advice from industry where we actually help and assist the professors and the chair of the construction management department to make sure the students in the curriculum are getting everything that they need to better prepare themselves for when they get out. That way, when we go to hire and these other construction companies hire, we're getting the best product coming out. And the last several years has been just superb. We're just tremendously excited about the product that we're getting. The students are really getting better and better each year.
LSU's construction management is one of the largest programs in the nation, and it continues to grow each year due to the high demand for LSU CMs. The reason for that demand is the high-quality education received at LSU.
The thing about the construction department at LSU is it prepares you for all the aspects of construction. It's much more of an overall approach to how we execute work.
The construction management program at LSU is all about estimating projects, writing proposals, getting your clarifications, planning and scheduling the project. It's going to be monitoring the cost on the projects. It's going to be field engineering type roles, checking progress in the field, verifying productivity, forecasting schedule, forecasting costs. If I ask you to tell me what a project manager does, that is probably what you would tell me. And that's exactly what LSU has prepared me to do with that construction management department.
I've been working here since I got out of college, and it's totally different from what I thought industrial construction would be. And there's so many more opportunities than I thought that there would be, especially for women too.
Right now is a great time to come out of construction management into the industrial sector. Over the next 4 to 8 years, really, you're looking at a boom of somewhere in the neighborhood of $60 billion of new construction in the Gulf Coast region. There's no doubt that there's a tremendous amount of investment to be made along the Gulf Coast. And construction graduates from LSU is very well positioned to advance their career, and see other opportunities and that sort of thing. Another good thing about the construction program, it prepares you not for just the one market. I gravitated to industrial, but when I was at LSU, I worked part-time for a civil engineer who did primarily highway work. And those skills translate very well to other markets as well.
LSU CM graduates work all over the country in all 4 sectors of the industry: residential, industrial, commercial, and heavy highway.
It prepares you. If you want to be in business for yourself, you couldn't ask for a better preparation than the LSU construction department. There's just so much opportunity, and there's not enough, we just don't have enough management out there to support what's coming.
As you see, the construction management career outlook is extraordinary. There's never been a better time to enroll in LSU construction management. Whether you're a transfer student still looking for your niche, or an incoming student who wants a fulfilling and interesting career, LSU CM graduates work in a variety of positions and locations. Their knowledge and experience gained at LSU has taken them to projects around the globe or right at home. Sure, it's nice to sit here and enjoy a football game, but it's even better when you are actually the one overseeing its construction. Contact the LSU Bert S. Turner Department of Construction Management today.
Okay, so let me get back to my screen. Here we go. Can y'all hear me? Okay, good, awesome. Okay, so that video is a great overview of what our department has to offer. And so the next couple of slides are just kind of going over those again. Awesome. So as I said, that you're going to get a very versatile degree with getting a construction management degree. And with that comes really four main avenues that you're going to have. You're going to have, of course, have the construction part of it, but also you're going to have the business side, which is very unique to almost any of our degrees in the School of Engineering. You're actually going to walk away with 2 minors in business that's already on the pathway of your degree. You don't have to do anything extra. You're going to come out with a business admin minor, as well as a technical sales, which is marketing. But you're also going to have the design side and the engineering as well. And so with that, the skills that you're going to come away with is people skills, problem solving, leadership, multitasking, team players. You're going to come away with a very versatile degree. And say that one day you decide that construction isn't the industry you want to be with, this degree can actually take you to other avenues. Dr. Berryman, our head of our department, actually told me the most creative someone has used their degree was to be a scheduler for a hospital. And all they did all day was schedule surgeries. And obviously that has nothing to do with construction management, but the skills that they learned with this degree was able to apply to those jobs. So in this market, you know, if you decide you don't want to be in construction, you are safe to go to other ways with your degree. But there's no need to, because the demand for construction is so high. And construction is the largest and most diversified industry in the world. There's a high demand for leadership and business skills. And plus, that brings us to our next point, which is competitive salaries, because you are needed. And so let me show you how needed you are. So in Louisiana, if you want to stay local, there is projected $65 billion in industry construction projects. So they will need about 3,000 to 5,000 employees with construction management degrees. And we are producing about 200 a year. And there's not a lot of there's not a lot of construction management programs around Louisiana, so you're gonna actually already stick out. And then if you don't wanna stay closer to home, the national demand is as high as Louisiana. They need over close to 200,000 construction professionals. And just to give you an idea, we only produce about 5,000 in the entire US of CM graduates each year. So that demand is really high, but the supply is really low. And so with that, you have industry that is coming to us for our students. So that really creates a very unique partnership with industry in Bert S. Department of Construction Management. So now I'm going to turn it over to our program specialist, Becky Latitude, and she's going to go over our different types of programs that we have. And so Becky, I'm going to let you take it away.
Hi everyone. We have a few programs that we offer in construction management. And to start off with, we have a Bachelor's of Science in Construction Management, whereas delivered online with business. This past fall, 2019, is whenever we were 100% online degree, so we're very excited about that. And with this program, you can walk away with an average degree of $65,000 in salary. And then we have a postgraduate certificate program. This program takes 6 months to complete, and it's perfect for people looking to change their career path. And
let me just cut you off real quick. I think there's some echo. I don't know, Jessica, if you want to unmute. And then maybe if Becky, let's see.
Okay, is that better? Okay, great. Okay, so our postgraduate certificate program, it takes 6 months to a year to complete, and it's perfect for those individuals looking to change their career paths. And it also consists of some leveling courses that may be required to move on to our Master's of Science program. And the average salary for this certificate program is $72,000. And then we have our graduate degree programs. We have a Master's of Science that is delivered 100% online and on campus. It's a 2-year program. We have different path options, professional for our online students, and then we have an executive and research path where you have the option to do a project or a thesis, and that's a 2-year program. And so the average salary for that is around $110,000. And right now we have our PhD program that is offered through engineering science. We are in the process of getting our PhD program approved by the Board of Regents. So we're looking forward to having a PhD in the CM department.
Hey, Becky. Just another thing is these salaries are actually from our students. This was the exit survey we asked them all to take. This was from 2018 to the 19, so these are recent. And we actually let you know how you can get that high. It is about the effort that you put into it, but we have events that you can attend that you can try to get to that high end of your salary. And so with this, what opportunities are you looking for? I mean, we can go on to all these different positions that are listed there. You know, you see the construction side with the scheduler, the estimator, cost control, but you also see the business side, which is HR manager, business developer, sales. And so with the degree, as I said before, it's very versatile. The types of employees that you're going to see really get into what your emphasis in the industry will be. You'll have a time in your program towards the end, junior and senior year, that you actually pick avenues that you would like to go through, whether it be industrial, residential, commercial, or government. And so that kind of goes to where you're going to be, type of employers that are going to hire you. A lot of our students do go off to be self-employed. And so that's another avenue that you can look in as well. And so with us being so connected with our industry, we're very fortunate to have their funding for these specific labs that the industry actually told us what they need. And so really they're looking for the construction manager that has the side of technology. And so we really work that into your degree. And so at the very bottom of the lab with the students with the lab coat is our material labs. And that's really for our graduate students. But they are really working with government government agencies. We have institutes that are within our department. So that's really an opportunity for you if you want to go into a higher education after your bachelor's. Right now, they're doing a couple of patents. One they're working on that's pretty cool is to make concrete actually be flexible. And so that's really something that's going to impact the way we build. So it's really cool that we have that in-house. Our next one up with the digger, as I like to say, is our simulation lab. And so you're not going to be the one that are actually going to be operating these machines, but you are going to be the one that's going to be hiring them. So we actually have Dr. Juan, is actually a class that you take that you understand how important it is to hire a good operator. And so right now we have an excavator. We're working on getting a crane. But industry came and actually paid for us to have these because they want our students to know how to use them to hire, as well as they have employees that come and train on them. And our next over is our building information modeling. It's actually a class you're going to take. You're actually going to do 4D designs. You're going to build a building and kind of go in there and do survey and stuff like that. And that's kind of where the technology kind of comes in. We have heard from industry that they're really looking for their employees to have this knowledge. So you will be coming away with this. That's with Dr. Lee. We also, that's something's not on here, but we're really excited. Dr. Shu actually got a robot dog. I'm sure you have seen them. They kind of walk really weird. They're from Boston Dynamics, and they're awesome. So we're going to be actually working with that. He's going to have some students that are going to be helping him kind of looking, and what his main goal was that is to actually bring those 2 construction sites to go into dangerous situations for human to be able to survey. At the very bottom, we have the student that's in front of the large screen. That is our senior design studio. So this is actually where you're going to be able to put all your knowledge from your past 4 years into this project, where you're going to create a construction project from the ground up. You're going to do the estimating, the cost, all the steps in between, and at the very end, you're going to be able to present this to a board. It's going to be with your professors as well as industry folks, so they can let you know what they see in in their employers, if this was a project that you would actually view, that would pitch to them. So it's a great opportunity. You have a design studio where you can kind of play this out on our big screens, as well as our computers that run all the software. And so that's another way that we help with your education. From that, we're going to talk about our student life, and we can't really start that without talking about our construction and industry advising council. Like the video, they are a very big part of our curriculum and our students' lives. And so they, industry saw a need to actually come and get our students, but they also wanted to make sure our students were prepared for the industry that they're going into. So they help with component skills, curriculum, financial contributions, but they also are a direct interaction with our students. They do guest lectures, they host competitions and site visits as well. And so we're very lucky that we have them involved. With this, I'm going to turn it over to our incoming president of our Construction Student Association, Elizabeth, and so she's going to actually come on and tell you a little bit more about this.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth. I'm president of CSA currently. So I just want to say that I joined CSA to make connections within the industry. This past year, I served as secretary, and I enjoyed every minute of it. We typically host about 4 meetings a semester. Each meeting is centered around a particular company. The employees from the company come to the meeting to educate us on what they do and to provide us with some tips after graduating. We also volunteer at the ABC Skeet Shoot and CIAC Golf Tournament. Throughout the semester, there will be opportunities to visit some job sites and fun events such as bowling. And this spring, we host a crawfish boil and banquet to close out the year. All events are great ways to become involved on campus and within the industry. I strongly encourage you to join CSA and to follow our Instagram for all updates regarding the fall semester. And anyone can join, so just all your friends can come join, and we can all have a good time together.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And so at the bottom, you can see our the Instagram is _LSUCSA_. And they're going to be telling you about upcoming meetings, as well as we're going to be broadcasting into all your emails through the department with the way that our new normal might be. They might be virtual, they might be in person, but we'll let you know beforehand. And another thing I would like to just say is that you saw the high end of the salary, and a part of that to get to that higher salary is networking when you're in school, start freshman year. And this is a great way for you to be networking with businesses. And so I know that Elizabeth mentioned it, but each meeting you have a representative from industry come and do a presentation and kind of talk to y'all. So that's another way that networking you can get involved. Next up is our Sigma Lambda Chi. It's our International Honor Society. This is something that will happen to our students in their senior and junior years, online, on campus. It's we invite the top 20% of students. So even though you can't join into your junior and senior year, I do kind of advise that you start working on your GPA to make sure that it's up there for that, because this is another way that you can stand out and network between members. And then with that, I'm going to turn it over to Caroline. She's going to talk about our competition teams.
So hi, I'm Caroline. So I was a part of the NAHB competition team. It's a student chapter program that's dedicated to enriching students' educational experience and offers firsthand experience and exposure to like the real world of construction. So you, all throughout the fall semester, you work on a project and prepare with your teammates to present in front of a board of judges. And we traveled to Las Vegas in January, and this coming year is supposed to go to Orlando. So it's a good experience to meet friends and get out there in the industry and network and all that kind of stuff.
Thanks, Caroline. It is open to all grade levels, and we'll let you know through broadcasting as well as social media when those competitive teams are up for joining. See your next one. Okay, kind of the big shebang. We can't talk about your going to be like your semester lookout without talking about construction interview day. It's the biggest day of the year semester, because it's twice a semester for our students. And so what it is that since you understand how much we drilled into your head, how much industry needs our students, we have an opportunity for those companies to come onto campus. Well, this year for the fall, it's actually going to be virtual. So we're going to talk a little bit more of that when it comes up. But last year we had over 47 companies, sorry, not 47, 74 companies that actually came to campus to interview our students. It's open to all grade levels. I can't stress that enough. It's open to all grade levels. These companies are looking for internships as well as jobs after. And so they know what knowledge you have as an incoming freshman or incoming sophomore. And so they are looking for that, and they're trying to build you to the next level. And that starts, your pathway to the higher salaries. Dr. Behrman always likes to say that our seniors have 2 to 3 job offers by the time they graduate. And that really starts with getting involved in construction interview day, having internships. And so we want to set you up for that next level after your graduation. Like I said, it's once a semester. We do hold fits before CID to prepare you so you don't go into it blind. We have CSA and CIAC host events such as a panel that students can actually go and ask the employers what they're looking for, what kind of questions they're going to be asking during the interview, just anything in that nature to get you prepared. We also are going to do career fairs that our industry is actually going to attend, so you can kind of get your face in front of these professionals before you actually interview. We have all the steps lined out on how you're going to, the deadlines, how you're going to apply for them, what you need to know beforehand. So we really take the time to make sure that you're prepared for these interviews, even as a freshman. So I highly suggest you take advantage of it and not just something you kind of think about your senior or junior year. With that, I'm going to actually turn it back over to the video. So if you don't mind, I'm going to stop sharing in 1 second. Okay, before I start this next video, we are very lucky to have industry in our backyard, and a lot of them did graduate from LSU CM department. And so we kind of put a video together celebrating our 50th year, talking about some of our most famous alums, and you're gonna recognize them because they're some of the big wigs in our industry. And so please enjoy this video and look kind of out. These could be your future employers.
The LSU Bert S. Turner Department of Construction Management proudly celebrates the 50-year anniversary of its very first class by looking back at where it all started.
Dr. Hand, was the first dean of this fledgling Department of Construction Technology at the time.
And Dr. Hand came to me and says, Eddie, I know you, we've talked, I know you want to go into construction. Says next year we're looking at starting a construction technology degree in environmental. And he kind of described it to me. I said, man, that sounds awesome. And then during that period, some other individuals I got to meet and were coming to LSU apparently had the same idea, because it was Art File and Pepper Rutherford and Rick Piku and other people that, I met, Frank Jamar and Bob Osworth. All of these individuals were interested in it as well. So as they started that curriculum, we started in that class.
At that time, the department was just being kicked from pillar to post. Didn't really have a home, was looking for a home. I remember the early days, didn't have a curriculum. And then they brought professors from the College of Engineering, electrical, civil, mechanical, and some business professors, management, accounting, economics, and put together what we know today as the LSU School of Construction Management.
The basic management philosophies were the same, and a lot of the estimating and planning and scheduling courses that we took were very good. They prepared us very well for opening job opportunities in our careers. It was a new program, but it was highly touted, and industry was already receiving it well. I don't think they were quite sure what they were going to get when it was all said and done, but it's turned out to be obviously a roaring success.
The industry really needed that sophistication. They either had an engineer or they had a craft person trying to learn all the scheduling, cost control, the business law, accounting, all of those things that go into it, So it was a big advantage to us, and quite a few of us have been successful entrepreneurs since then, because we got in it very early.
As the program has changed over the years, and they've had different leaders here, industry has been brought in originally not only for their funding, but for their information and their input. But I would say somewhere in mid to late 80s is when we really started getting a lot more actively involved between industry and LSU. And that was about the time when the department moved into the College of Engineering, and there was a lot more synergies that came with that. And so there was a lot of better support for the department.
We got put in a position where we were going to administer fines. That was not a preference of ours, but the legislature wanted it. So we were smart enough and alert enough that we stated in the law that these fines would be committed to education. This gave us an entree into the construction management department, and that was about 1986.
We got to the point where we started really paying attention to the curriculum. It was still environmental, and then it moved to business college, and then it moved back to engineering. And I think it was in 97, we got together with several of us principals that really had that background as well. And we formed the Construction Industry Advisory Council.
It was developed for two reasons. One, to raise financial support for the department, and two, to provide industry feedback into the curriculum to make the curriculum more reflective of what the needs of the industry were. And we've continued to stay involved in that over the years, and that's, I think, why the department has grown as fast as it has, and has become one of the top programs in the United States today.
One of the critical grading criteria in the reaccreditation is, what is your industry involvement? And they tell us year in and year out when they come in to look at LSU is, your industry advisory council is one of the most active, best we've seen in the country. I think the only way a university is going to know what product they can produce for an industry that's hiring that product is by industry involvement. And I think we recognize that on both fronts, from the university standpoint and from the industry standpoint.
That's just the reason that the industry is tied closely with the department, because they are interested in that talent. They're interested in having a phenomenal student coming out and graduating. So they work hard with the curriculum, work hard with the faculty, they work closely with everybody to make sure they have that student, when that student graduates, has the knowledge and skill sets to be able to immediately go into the construction field. So they have a vested interest. They're looking for a high quality student, and they're getting them right now.
To me, the willingness to be open and listen to what industry wants, since we're buying the product you're producing, is a very, very, very significant change. I don't think we've always had that here. In the early days, there was more of a, we're going to do it our way, no matter what, and I don't think it worked. It certainly didn't work to the success that it is today. And if you don't believe that, just count the enrollment here.
We want people that know what they're doing. Good estimating, project management techniques, understanding that this is a business that must be built from the ground floor up, knowing what you're doing. Experience counts. The working man is to be honored, and you want a day's work for a day's pay, but realize that that man that works with his tools is just as valuable as the chairman of the company.
Today, the students we get are so much further advanced from a sophistication standpoint. It's not even close.
Everything is going high tech. And as projects get more and more complex, we have to get more and more technology into the classroom. And thanks to industry, we've been able to purchase the equipment, be able to bring equipment in. We have a BIM cave that does a 3D virtual environment. We have simulation equipment for us to be able to work. The students can work with those. We have computer systems now that have high-powered computer systems that can do 3D modeling. They can see the project before it's ever built.
The technology in this department is cutting edge, and this all goes to the need. The school has been very responsive, but the industry, and here again, I'm going to wear that word out. The industry steps up to the plate. I mean, it's just new and improved. Whether it's equipment, whether it's hardware, software, whatever, you ask and we'll find some way to deliver, because ultimately it's our product.
Students want to come to a place where they perceive they're going to get a quality education. When they come and do a walkthrough and they see what LSU has to offer, not just in the classroom, but in every other aspect of their overall college educational program, I think the technology piece is a big part, especially in the fields of construction and engineering, which is, where we sit today. And that's, the technology there is moving so fast that if you're not getting it in college, you're behind the 8 ball when you graduate.
With the industry support, we've been able to obtain 4 federal centers. We've been able to change the curriculum drastically where it can have 4 different paths: residential, commercial, highway, and industrial. We've been able to change the student population from 189 to over 1,000 students. They've also helped us with our master's program, our bachelor's program, and now they're helping us with our online, LSU online programs.
You can actually go online and get a degree online. You can live in Delaware and actually get a CM degree from LSU. That just blows my mind, but that's where we are today, and that's what higher ed is looking at today. And I'm real proud that the LSU Department of Construction is one of the first ones on campus to institute an online degree program.
We now know what scalability is. It's taking a course, developing it for 50 students, making sure that we can actually provide for 5,000 students. That is a massive undertaking, looking at the numbers that are going to be presented to us. It's exciting and it's scary, but it is truly, truly the wave of how education is going. We've spent a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money, and a lot of education perfecting these courses. So we talk about what is the next 5 years going to look like? What is the next 10 years going to look like? We took a look back at what 50 years ago looked like, and we are reinventing ourselves. We have beautiful things on the horizon for the university, for the college, for our department.
Are we sitting on the cusp of possibly $160 billion, that's with a B, $1 billion worth of industrial work? We will address infrastructure at some point in time. If you look at just what Baton Rouge and New Orleans are going to be doing on the public sector, they both have $1 billion worth of work in their respective areas to do on infrastructure. We need these students. We need these construction professionals coming out of LSU to enter into this industry. As long as we have a quality faculty, and as long as the product, the output, the graduate
is accepted as being one of the top construction managers that could come out of industry, out of school, they'll be fine.
That's what I'm most excited about, is that the university is finally listening to the people that are willing to support us. When they ask you to write a check and they ask you for your input to help make it be the best for everybody, you probably will do that.
It's very important that industry and the education, the university continue to work together. As long as they do that, we're going to be successful.
We are the recipients of this product. What's created here comes to us, and it has been a wonderful relationship with LSU. We get high quality graduates. Again, I'm speaking for industry because that's what I represent as industry. And we're really, really pleased with the end product.
To get to this point, over 50 years, you've got to realize the shoulders on whom everybody here stands. I'm talking about the Jim Hands and the Aguilars and the Covingtons and the Jerezes and even Cam Movasagi, the DOTD secretary, who took a stint heading this thing up here. They all were on a trial and error basis. This was kind of a new thing as it went down the line. But because LSU at the highest levels didn't get it, these people did. They kept pushing and pushing and pushing until finally the jewel was polished. We are where we are today. But don't ever forget that these people got us there. And that's very important for all of these 1972 graduates and the rest of them to remember. It didn't come easy, and it must be preserved and protected and cherished.
Okay, thank you all for watching that. Man, do those labs look good? Okay, one second, let me turn this over. Okay, next we are gonna actually go to one of the stars of the video, our instructor, Ms. Human, who is also our undergrad coordinator, as well as our resident, or professional in resident. And she's a alum too. She graduated in, I'm not gonna say the year, but she graduated from LSU as well. But Ms. Human is gonna talk about your advising.
Hey everyone, welcome to our little presentation today. So happy to have you here. As Jessica mentioned, yes, I did graduate from LSU in construction management in the early 90s, okay? We'll keep it at that. I bleed purple and gold. I truly believe in our department. I was out in the field for several years after I graduated. Even back then, jobs were booming. And so I was able to get my hands dirty and then came into the office and eventually got a master's degree in business. And then after several years, came on over to the academic side of things and am able to share my experiences with you, personal, up close and personal, as well as the academic side. We can't always bring you every single thing. Obviously, the best method is for you guys to be working. That's a big part of our advising. The beginning of the video in this presentation showed you how important construction interview day is, the competitions, the interaction with the Construction Student Association. Being a relevant part of the department is huge. So that's kind of where, you know, it's the lessons of hard knocks, but a big part of my job, my teaching is what I like to do the most. I meet a lot of you guys. I love the up close and personal. Unfortunately, this year that hasn't been able to happen, but our advising has still continued to be very popular. It has been very successful via Zoom meetings and Microsoft Teams. So we're still able to have the one-on-one and stay safe, relatively working with you guys from an advising standpoint. Every single one of you, as you come in a normal situation, you would meet me. We would be in the same classroom. I would help you schedule. Okay. After that, what happens is, based on your last name, you are assigned specific advisors. So I want you to write this down. Every single semester, doesn't matter if you're in UCAC or UCFY, that's your freshman college, or if you are in the College of Engineering, you will be advised by someone in the Department of Construction Management. We send out email blasts. We let you know when the concentrated advising period starts, when it ends, who your advisor is, the time that they will be in their office, or obviously it's going to be virtual advising. We help you. We are here to help you get to the next class. We are here to answer questions for you. It is a wonderful service that just naturally you get as being a part of the construction management department. You will follow that advisor every single semester. They become very familiar with your schedule. You will have them, they're also teachers. So you'll see them in class, you'll see them outside of class, you'll see them at CIAC events, you'll see them at CSA meetings. Industry is very involved. Industry comes into our classrooms. Industry helps to advise based on, you know, what your next step is professionally. Okay. So the advising takes on a much larger role than us just saying, all right, you need to take this class and you need to take this class. You can see on the screen right now, there's a curriculum overview. All right. We have a flow chart. I highly recommend that you go to our website. So many questions can be answered on that website. So please, 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 you and your family visit that website. If you have additional questions relative to what class should I take instead of this one, you can always email me. I'm in there. I'm on that faculty tab. You can find me, click it, and you can send me an immediate email. I'm pretty good at getting back to you. Through the advising, you will notice you'll get to a certain part of the program, estimating, which is me. It's kind of like the gatekeeper, 3111. And around that time, that's your junior year. And around that time, you can start thinking about, well, do I want to go into residential? Do I want to go into commercial, industrial, heavy highway? We'll help you with that. Okay. There's also a general. It's like a buffet. You can try the chicken. If you don't like the chicken, you can try the beef. If you don't like the beef, we can give you vegetables. It's a real nice buffet. Our courses line up really nice so that you can get a little bit of residential, you can get a little bit of commercial, you can get a little bit of industrial. You can taste it, okay? All the while maintaining that idea of trying to get an internship. That's another way that you can add to your buffet, right? You can work one summer in commercial. You're like, oh, this is not for me. Maybe I'll try residential. The opportunities are almost endless, you guys. I promise you. I'm here to help with the academic side of guiding you. We use the word matriculation. That's just a big word of moving from one class to the next. If you take a look at the flow chart, you will notice that there are arrows from one bubble to the next. That means that that is a hard-lined prerequisite. The department, not just Miss Human, that's a big misunderstanding. Miss Human won't let me move from the, no, it's not Miss Human. The department, we have very specific classes that you should take, that you have to take before you move on into the next. Caroline and Elizabeth are former students of mine. They can probably attest to this. We offer a freshman, sophomore level materials class. Without the knowledge of materials, when you get into that junior estimating class, like, wait, masonry, what is that? There's a very, very rhythmic method to our madness as to how we position these courses. Okay. So when you start looking at the flow chart, I want you to look in and really look into that. There's meaning behind the bubbles and the lines and the credit hours. Okay. We're accredited by SACS. That's on the university level. We're also proud. I'm a member of ACCE. It's a construction education accreditation. So our department, drilling down, is even accredited. So we have a lot to offer in the way of jobs, opportunities, education, scholastic scholarships, and job opportunities, as well as even as large as the department is getting, we still really try and give you that one-on-one, hands-on, if you will, service. So if you need anything, if you have any questions, once again, go to the faculty line or the tab on our website and just shoot me an email. It's shuman@lsu.edu and I'll get back to you. And thanks again for participating in the construction management presentation today. Take care.
Okay, we're about to go into our questions, but before that, something that's new this year, especially with the new normal that we have been, is that we actually have computer requirements that we are requiring all our students to have. And this is just to make sure that your computer can keep up with the softwares that you're going to be running, especially for these technology classes. And it's really just to make sure that you are able to run these softwares. Having a slow computer or your software not working is not going to be an excuse why you can't actually finish your work. So we just want to make sure you are prepared. There is ways that you can, if you have a computer that doesn't have enough memory or or enough room on your hard disk, you can actually do external hard drives. I honestly just recommend external hard drives just because it frees up a lot of your computers. I have one since every year I was in college. So that's just something to kind of keep in the bag. But also another thing that we strongly advise is that Macs are not recommended. And there's two reasons. Some of the software is designed to run on PCs. I know Caroline can attest to this. Last semester, some of her software did not run on her Mac. And so she did run in problems into not being able to run the software. Another reason is Macs do not compute to the professional world. Industry really uses PCs, it's cheaper for them. And so we don't want you to learn special commands or ways to do it on a Mac and then get out to the world and having to learn a whole new program. I can attest to this. I worked all in college on a Mac, and then when I got into industry, it was really kind of a hard first step into industry because I had to learn a lot of my commands over on a PC. So it's just not recommended that you have a Mac for these classes and for this program. We have put it all on our social media as well as broadcasting just so you can remember. But also a lot of these features are on computers now, so you might not have to go and get an external like a speaker or microphone or camera. And again, that's just to make sure that whatever our new normal is going to be, that you're going to be able to do your classwork. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to actually open to any questions that y'all might have. Mikey's going to take over, and if you have some for Ms. Human or any of the staff, as well as our students, please let us know. You can write in the chat or you can unmute if you have any questions. Definitely, this is the time to ask.
I'd like to add to the computer requirements. I also teach online. A phone and a tablet do not work as well. Not only does a Mac, but you cannot take your exams on a phone. You cannot use a tablet because most of the time, even if we're in class or we're outside of class, we monitor through external means. if you're sitting in the airport and you're trying to take your exam on Moodle or through Moodle or through an external source on your phone, it doesn't work. And as Jessica mentioned earlier, that is not an acceptable excuse, right? So please, 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 and I'm going to stress this to my students this semester, as will every other instructor, please make sure that you have an operating system that matches to the requirements. We worked really hard with IT through the College of Engineering, making sure that we got you, the bare minimum, so that, the expenditures aren't through the roof. But again, tablets and phones do not work for, schoolwork and taking exams, especially if they don't go through. So I just wanted to add that. Thank you.
I'll pitch a question while any of our students might be thinking of one. This could be for students or faculty or staff. What is something about construction management that you didn't know about until you got to LSU? Or for faculty and staff, what is something about CM at LSU that you think makes the program stick out?
I'll say something. So when we went to an AHB competition in Las Vegas, we got to interact with a bunch of different schools. And a lot of the CM programs in other colleges are like a science, or they're an agricultural college. So being able to be a part of the College of Engineering is pretty cool.
Elizabeth, did you have something too?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I feel like we have a lot of hands-on tools, and the advisory council is like just there for you anytime. Like they're so open to like answering questions or just being there for you, or just saying like, oh, this is what happened whenever I graduated, and like literally just a phone call away. Like I even have some like call me and they're like, hey, how's your family? Like total family environment. And that really stood out to me, just being hands-on, and then the advisory council being so close with the students is great, really.
I can actually add on to that too, just from being kind of an outsider in this. Again, you hear how important industry is, but honestly, I can't tell you how unique it is that we have industry literally in our back pocket. I went to a school up north that down the road from where I went to school was Walmart head offices as well as Sam's, and we could not get them involved. And my major was the major going into that. So I can't tell you how unique it is that we do have industry involved, and they really want to get to know you. They really want to, be there for your step, because it is an investment to them as well. Another thing that's really unique to LSU is our department with our professors and our instructors. We have a very wide range. We have a lawyer that is on our, was one of our instructors. We have civil engineering. We have different types of engineering as well. We have, of course, like Ms. Keenan is our professional in residence. So we have, of course, doctorates and stuff like that. So it's just a wide variety. And you also get the business side and the business school as well. So we're very lucky to have that.
Appreciate those answers. Anybody have any questions? We're about at an hour, so we can wrap it up if not. Jessica, do you have anything to add?
I have one more thing, just going over our social media. Also, I want to let you know that incoming freshmen kind of is a big change from high school to college in the sense of talking to your professors. They might be intimidating at first, but they're there to help you, and they don't know to help you if you don't go up and actually talk to them. And a lot of them, you can see them outside of class, and it's just, they're normal people. So just that's something that freshmen tend to have a little bit of trouble with. So definitely talk to your professors. They are there to help you, and they're not as intimidating as they look. And so with that, while we're wrapping up, I want to go over our social media. This is where I would honestly start following now because you get the most up to date with what's going on. Of course, something important is going to be over our emails, but to be quite honest, I know that a lot of us get our information from social media, so just make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Next is our website. This is going to be your tool, your best friend through your years. The easiest way to get there is going to Google, just put LSU CM, and our website will be the first one up. And so that's it. That's all I have. Really excited to have you. You're going to look great in purple and gold, and whether it be virtual or in the classroom, we're excited to have you. So that's it, Mikey.
Thanks, Jessica, and thanks to all of our speakers for being available. I think this is a lot of great information for you incoming freshmen. So also just want to give a shout out to Jessica and students and faculty, everyone who could be here for making this a very informative event. So with that, keep a lookout on your LSU email for any follow-up information. And like I said, the link to this recording will be posted online and sent to you as well. So with that, looking forward to seeing you guys on campus in August, and go Tigers.
Go Tigers.